Dead Island 2 isn't a perfect game by any means, but it's got way more going for it than you might think. Here are 10 reasons this game might actually be worth your time, and how it may even surprise you. Let's start with one hugely important factor in Dead Island 2, the combat. You're not just wildly swinging a pipe around hoping for the best. This game makes every single hit feel like it matters. You crack a zombie across the face, the impact you witness is pretty insane. Merc one in the leg, watch it stumble. It's satisfying as hell, and we'll talk about how the gore takes things to a whole new level in just a second. What's cool is how you can also dodge attacks and follow up with a finisher that looks kinda badass, and it does give combat a bit of variety instead of just shooting and whacking zombies on the regular. Originally, I thought the Fury mode was a bit shit, and it felt a bit out of place. Essentially, you become some overpowered bitch slapper and kill zombies in a single hit for a short amount of time. But over time, I've began to appreciate it, and it does get you out of some sticky situations. Yeah, it's a bit odd, but it does become increasingly fun to use. Out of everything, drop kicking the tits off zombies is my go-to move, and despite doing it hundreds of times, it still doesn't get old somehow. Combat certainly isn't perfect, but it is very enjoyable, and it also has a surprising amount of depth that not many people talk about. The weapon mod system in this game is kind of crazy. You start off finding basic stuff like pipes, bats, hammers, and before you know it, you're electrifying curtain rails and shooting poison that must seriously chuck up. The mods you apply to your weapons completely changes how you play, and it does make a huge difference, as some zombies will be resistant to particular weapons, so you have to mod them to switch things up. As much as I appreciate the freedom to piss about with weapon builds, more importantly, they actually affect the gameplay, which gives you a reason to mess around with it properly. But one thing that doesn't get praised enough is how this game has some of the best gore I've ever seen. Thanks to the flesh system, every encounter with zombies feels fully unscripted and unique. When you look at these dutty pigs up close after delivering a royal hiding, you're going to be seriously impressed at how realistic it all looks, and I've never really seen a game quite like it. It becomes weirdly addictive seeing how battered and demented you can make these poor arseholes, and it is the best gore I've ever seen in a zombie game, and in any game for that matter. That's not the only thing that is seriously impressive. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit that subscribe button because over 90% of you aren't subscribed. It's free, helps the channel, and I'd personally love for you to stick around and join the 5%. Dead Island 2 is set in LA, and unlike other zombie games that are normally quite dark and gloomy, this one is the opposite. You'll start out in fancy Beverly Hills, exploring mansions and launching dropkicks, and then you'll find yourself on the Venice Beach boardwalk where you'll find roided to the gill gym freaks giving it a large one. Each area has its own designated zombies, which I thought was pretty damn cool. As you progress, you'll explore various other locations which are not only visually levels above any other zombie game, but they also create tension and atmosphere. Unlike other games, what I found unique is how you can actually use your surroundings to your advantage, such as shooting electrified bullets into a puddle, causing zombies to burn faster than your nan's piss poor Sunday dinner. And I'm not sure why, but I find it very satisfying watching how zombies are impacted by the environment, and it does add depth to the Annihilation. But it does suck how the map is broken into areas with loading screens in between. It's a weird choice that feels like it could have been avoided, but you do kind of forget about it after a while. One thing I really didn't expect going in is how the characters, aka the Slayers, aren't just skins ready and waiting to rob dog toy squeaking 10-year-olds. Instead, they actually play differently. There's 6 Slayers to choose from, and they each come with unique stats and abilities. My first playthrough was with Ryan, who's the typical strong bloke who's a bit slower than the others, but has increased toughness and regains health when knocking down enemies, and I wrongly assumed he would be quite overpowered. After finishing the game, I then chose Bruno, who's kind of the opposite, with very good mobility, speed, and great for attacking non-suspecting zombies. In the end, he felt way more OP in comparison, and I did enjoy my second playthrough far more. The fact each character does feel different really helps with replayability, which I think a lot of games do suffer with these days. Co-op used to be a huge part of these games, but is it actually any good now? Well, Well, at first, not really. You had to be on the same exact missions as your friends to just play together, which I always thought was pretty dumb, to be honest. However, a new co-op mode dropped post-launch called Neighborhood Watch that gives multiplayer way more purpose. You and your friends or random people online team up to complete missions around infected neighborhoods, defend areas, take out elite zombie threats, rescue survivors, and shut down outbreak zones. And you do unlock rewards as you do this. And what makes it fun is how it forces you and your crew to actually coordinate by placing traps and working together to fight hordes. And things do get difficult. Plus, these missions reward you with rare loot, blueprint unlocks, and XP, so it's not for nothing. And I've actually genuinely enjoyed this mode, and it's definitely the best way to experience co-op in this game. However, one thing zombie games really do struggle with is zombie variety and things getting stale. Like in Dead Island 2, you will encounter a range of different zombie types that aren't all that common, like these deformed goblins, butchers with Yunan's toenails on their hands, and many others. It keeps the game feeling fresh and also makes things pretty challenging. Some of these knob jockeys are seriously hard to kill, and the boss fights are also surprisingly good, and one in particular will haunt my dreams for a very long time. Yeah, that thing ain't pleasant. The set pieces during boss fights are also well constructed and are also well placed throughout the story to keep things fresh. I think they did a great job of getting the zombies right in this game, although I would have liked to have seen more on screen at once. One thing I have to touch on that pretty much no one talks about is the attention to detail in Dead Island 2. As weapons get used, they visually look it. Glasses and hats full of zombies, guts and bowels being eaten can be often seen throughout the world, amongst many other details that are often forgotten. And if you're anything like me and really appreciates the fine details in open world games, you won't be disappointed. I would recommend watching this guy's video after this one if you would like to find out more. One massive thing you may have noticed throughout the video is how damn good this game actually looks. The lighting, environment, zombies, pretty much everything looks incredible. If you're a tart like me who does care about decent visuals and doesn't like playing games that look worse than Yunan's skirting boards, the visuals are seriously impressive, and it has to be up there with one of the best looking zombie games I've ever played. But here's the final cherry on top, and the ultimate reason to play this game for yourself. Dead Island 2 is currently free to play on the Epic Store right now, which makes it a no-brainer. And if it's not free anymore at the time of you watching this video, I'll even leave a link down below to Instant Gaming, where you can grab it far cheaper, as you don't want to be paying the silly as hell prices on the PS, Xbox or Steam store. It's a bloody rip-off. But what do you think of Dead Island 2? Do you think it's underrated? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comment section down below. Would love to know what you think on this. And to find out whether Far Cry 4 is worth playing in 2025, as I've got to be honest, this was actually kind of surprising. Just click the card on screen to check out that video. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.